talk about George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. And so that is what we're going to discuss. So sorry about the rocky beginning. It is Saturday and I am baking hamburgers here in the house. That is what is going on here in the house of Crispy. So apparently we were having an emergency hamburger meltdown, but that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. Excuse me. Okay, I am back. So, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of things because it's such a strong connection between art, pop culture, music, pop art, and George Gershwin. And I never really realized how strong of a connection he had to the abstract world. And what I mean by that is in so many different dimensions, really. And one of the ways that I can describe it is if you look at, well, first of all, he had synesthesia, just like Kandinsky. And if you look at Kandinsky used shapes of 3, shapes of 5. These are all pretty significant geometric numbers, and what I find pretty cool about listening to Rhapsody is that he would take 3 notes and put them where they didn't belong and count to 5. And he would come up with these amazing, I guess you would call it abstractions of that specific measure. And if you were to picture the music and you were to draw out 3 notes, that would be a triangle. If you were to draw out 5, that would be a pentagram. Or if you think of David, the Da Vinci's David in the circle, right? 5 points. And all of that kind of very, very important, what is the word that I'm looking for? Shapes that are important to religion. I don't know how else to say that other than I know it might be, I don't know. But if you know what I'm trying to say, I'll look it up here in a minute. Anyway, let's take a listen because it has been 100 years since this has been a thing. So hold on just one moment and we are going to take a listen to the Rhapsody. And, we can do that now as it is now public domain. And what I'm going to share with you, if you want to watch it, and I'm going to make a video about this too, but you can look it up on YouTube. It's in the Warner Archive, and it's Rhapsody in Blue debut. And this particular place that he is at, there's a painting that is hanging in the baker, and he requested the artist to put everybody in the first row as either somebody that he knew, a good friend, somebody that would, even if they had passed away, if they were special to him, they are in the first row of this particular painting. And it's amazing to see this performance because and then relation to the painting at the museum is just absolutely stunning. So let's listen to this together. Here we are. Any data? Let's see. Of course, no. I'm just getting the volume where it should be. Hey, you know, one of those days, isn't it? I was just listening to this. Oh, here we are. Pardon me. Let's start that over. I don't know if you guys were any kind of Bugs Bunny fans, but I see it in my head. Like, I can totally see, like, Bugs Bunny and Kandinsky, and he's running through the painting, and the pencil's chasing him. Does anybody else see this? I don't know. But I can see, like, whole cartoons appearing before me, and, like, I've been painting to this song, like, all day in remembrance of, if you will. And I'm quite inspired. It's very different from the jazz of that time. You know, it's the roaring 20s. You have to remember it is a time of, you know, people are recovering from the from the economics are rebuilding, and people are getting money again. It's the Gatsby, great hair, and, you know, opulent things. So let's listen. I'll shut up. And when he was playing and practicing his piano, excuse me, there was a painting of an old gentleman that hung across from him that's actually in the museum. It's really quite stunning, and and you think that, has he studied this before? And it shows him it shows a photograph, if you watch my YouTube video, of him next to it, and he's literally side by side with the exact same identical pose. It's absolutely amazing. So you can watch thank you for that. Thank you for that like. But you can watch them side by side and watch the comparison and really see how well studied this man really is, and how he really included abstractionism in his music. And you can see his synesthesia. Let's continue. Thank you. Thanks for liking. You guys, this is the 20s. This is before all the great jazz musicians really came to be. So you have to realize what kind of cutting edge, you know, I mean, this is Kandinsky in music. Like this, if you could see it, that's what it would look like to me, because it would be triangles and pentagram and 5-pointed and 3-pointed, 3 notes shoved into a 5-count measure. Let's take another look. I mean, what a incredible thing this must have been to thought that you were just going to any kind of orchestra put on by this famous gentleman, George. Well, actually, Gershwin didn't even know it. He was conned into it a little bit. It so Paul Whitman, as a matter of fact, what he had continuously asked George Gershwin to do something with him, and George Gershwin continuously turned him down. And so this time he actually went forward in putting out there that this production was occurring, and he said that Gershwin was doing it. Well, I guess the guy got lucky because Gershwin agreed to it somehow or another. And he had 5 weeks to come up with this masterpiece that literally transformed music. And I just find that really funny that he unapologetically put his genius butt in there. I mean, both of them are quite genius that he actually did that. But, the New York Times at the time in 1924 actually calls it a jazz concerto. And what would that even mean? A jazz concerto? Well, that would be Rhapsody in Blue. And so I just find it really amazing that this piece of art, really, you can see that he was synesthesia. I can see, especially knowing that it is literally through the rhythm of 3 notes shoved in or put into a 5 count. And then when you think about what that would look like as a shape, that would be a triangle. Like that would be a pentagram, or like the Star of David. Like those were really important shapes, and like how he achieved complete abstraction in his music, I just find absolutely fascinating. And then his influence in art and modern art, I believe the man is an absolute genius. For whoever's listening, you need to go see this. I would love to give you a tour. My name is CrispySkates. It's at the Baker Museum here in Naples, Florida. Peace out. Keep it crispy, y'all.